Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania's new trailer footage shown at D23 posed a huge question that reshapes the Multiverse Saga and tells us why Kang's big debut is coming in an Ant-Man movie. The stakes have never been higher for what Baskin-Robbins will find out. Now, I was lucky to be in the room to see this footage, as well as the footage for Loki Season 2, and I think I have a pretty good idea for how this will all fit together. I'm gonna break it all down for you. So the Quantumania footage shown at D23 is an expanded version of what was shown at Comic-Con in July. It opens with Scott, Hope, and Cassie on a road trip listening to the audiobook of Scott's new autobiography, Look Out for the Little Guy, in which Scott recounts the moment Hulk de-aged him into a baby in Endgame. Then it transitions into this kind of first act montage footage that's set to James Taylor's Your Smiling Face, with Scott's voiceover narrating, "I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Scott, you're an ex-con. How are you an Avenger? Why are you time traveling with Captain America? That doesn't make sense." But the answer to that question is exactly why Kang wants him. We see Scott's old boss from Baskin-Robbins, Dale. Also working at Baskin-Robbins is actor Ruben Rabassa, who came into our lives in a sketch from Tim Robinson's I Think You Should Leave.
Any other ideas?
Stinky!
What?
Here, Rabassa yells at Scott, "Thank you, Spider-Man!" Then Cassie says she's been working on the secret science project with Hank and with Hope, and she tells Scott, "So when you were all gone those 5 years, I started reading Grandpa Hank's old journals, and I got really into the quantum realm." So she shows Scott and Janet a device that she'd made, saying, "If I had something like this, I could have found you." It's a communication device that Cassie says works like a two-way radio, but Janet is suddenly concerned, and she says, "Wait a minute, you're sending a signal down to the quantum realm? Turn it off." This device activates on its own, emitting a blue orb that sucks in Cassie and the others. Now what follows is the trippy quantum realm imagery that I described in July, including cameos of Bill Murray's character and a mechanized MODOK. But the most crucial expansion is Scott's moment with Kang. Kang's voice says, "Time isn't what you think. If you want to get out of here, I'm the only shot you have." As before, Scott says, "You made a big mistake. I'm an Avenger." Kang responds, "You're an Avenger? Have I killed you before?" But now the scene goes on, and Scott asks, "What?" And Kang says, "They all blend together after a while." Scott asks, "Who are you?" And Kang says, "Just a man who has lost a lot of time, like you. But we can help each other with that. Someone stole something from me, and you're the only one who can steal it back. So, do we have a deal?" We see that Cassie is Kang's captive, and she silently shakes her head to tell her dad not to take the deal. So Scott says, "No, I don't think we do." And now Kang uses a kind of telekinesis to slam Scott against a wall and bind him to it, and he tells Scott, "You're out of your league, Ant-Man." So this confirms why Kang is arriving in an Ant-Man movie. Like the previous two Ant-Man films, this will again be a heist plot, a follow-up to the time heist of Avengers Endgame. Ant-Man, of all the Avengers, is the top expert in covert theft, cracking impossible safes, stealing the impossible, from Pym-Tech to hacking Iron Man's arc reactor to steal the Tesseract. But this time, rather than seeking Infinity Stones throughout history, Scott Lang will have the opportunity to regain the 5 years he lost with his daughter Cassie from the Master of Time by helping Kang find something that was stolen from him and stealing it back. So now, really, the most important question heading into the Multiverse Saga is, what did Kang lose? So if Scott can steal an Infinity Stone, there are any number of valuable physical objects in the MCU that Kang would need his help in acquiring. We could start in the junk drawer of the TVA that is filled with interesting pruned items that might have been confiscated from this Kang. Besides those duplicate Infinity Stones, there's the French Legion d'Honneur medal, the Honus Wagner baseball card. If we consider that He Who Remains was a rival Kang variant to the Kang in Quantumania, these two being enemies who are trying to block each other all the time, really anything in the Void or in the TVA headquarters could be something He Who Remains kept away from this Kang, like Throg in a jar, the Thanos copter, the Sphinx, which remember was Kang's time travel vessel in the Fantastic Four comics. That's how he got back to ancient Egypt. This Kang in Quantum Realm might want Scott to hijack the Sphinx to steal his old time machine for him. The Loki Season 2 footage reveals Ke Huy Quan is joining the cast as TVA archivist of some kind, managing a vault of rare objects. One of his items could be what Kang wants Scott to steal. Remember, Loki Season 1 ended with the TVA rebooted with the Timekeeper statues replaced with a looming statue of a different Kang, and the Loki Season 2 footage shows Loki using a time stick to prune back a mural wall of the Timekeepers to reveal multiple golden faces of Kang, each of them the size of the Timekeeper faces in the courtroom. So if this TVA is now ruled over by a Kang, it's hard to see why Kang would need Scott Lang to steal something from the TVA that he's already in charge of. So instead, what Kang lost might actually be something in a different location that he still would not have access to, like the Citadel. Because remember, the Citadel was not connected directly to the TVA. It could only be accessed by conquering Alioth. Alioth being an interdimensional beast that He Who Remains uniquely was able to tame and use to conquer all the other Kangs. So it stands to reason that the other Kangs might not be able to access He Who Remains Citadel. And that Citadel lower level had 4 statues originally, one of which was shattered, a mysterious detail that the production designer said would be addressed in a later title. I think that statue is broken from a past conflict that will be addressed in this Quantumania film. That Citadel, in concept art at least, was originally going to contain various trophies from the MCU, including an Iron Man helmet. But the lost item could be as simple as Kang just wants the original tem-pad, the magical quantum tech that he remains had attached to his fingers. Perhaps the first device that any Nathaniel Richards variant used to manipulate the timelines. Now, alternatively, if we frame this question of what Kang lost in terms of the central mystery to a classic film like Citizen Kane, the question being, what is Rosebud? The answer to that question was, spoiler warning for an 80-year-old movie, Rosebud was Charles Foster Kane's childhood sled, representing his lost childhood and his lost innocence. But if you really know your Hollywood history, naming this sled Rosebud was also a low blow insult by Orson Welles at William Randolph Hearst, the real-world media magnate that Kane was a total satire of. Really, Citizen Kane was a total hit piece on William Randolph Hearst, and in real life, Hearst's mistress was actress Marianne Davies, who was also parodied in the film by the actress Susan Alexander. And Hearst reportedly nicknamed Marianne Davies' maidenhood Rosebud. So I don't know, perhaps the most interesting Rosebud for Citizen Kang would be a lost love. I have speculated Ravonna Renslayer, Kang's love in the comics, who was shown with a Kang Easter egg, her hunter designation being A23 for Avengers 23, the comic issue where Renslayer is introduced and a romance with Kang is explored. Really, every TVA could be represented by some physical token, like Renslayer's high school pen, Mobius's jet ski, and if Scott's able to steal that item, he could in essence capture their soul. But I'll throw another theory out there. Miss Minutes! Tara Strong confirmed Miss Minutes is returning in season 2 of Loki, and Miss Minutes has always been implied to have a mysterious backstory. She is, after all, a creepy AI of unknown composition. She could jump on and off screens. I didn't see any holo projectors beaming her there. Is she magic? Is she in their minds? There's so many questions left about Miss Minutes, and it's possible that she has a clock source somewhere in the TVA or in the Citadel that can be tracked down and stolen. But I'll pose the question to you. What do you think Kang lost that he needs stolen back? You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.